Hi, good morning. My name is Juliana Hoxha. I'm the Executive Director of Partners Albania for Change and Development, an organization here in Albania. And I have the pleasure to be with you in this presentation today about increased transparency and efficiency in local government through online services. In the presentation today, we'll cover 4 main points. First, we'll be speaking about political and development background. When we talk about online services, it is important to understand some of the main development in political and development field that make online services quite a priority all over the globe, especially for the Balkans, I would say. Second, it is important to understand the diversity in online services. What are some of the tools that we can use in providing online services? Both sides, on the government side, but also how to ensure public participation in the policy and design of these services. Third, we'll be talking about trends and development stages. Online services today at the global stage are quite a hot issue, and more it is discussed, more we see research and analysis in this area, and we'll be giving you a quick snapshot on what these development stages are when we talk about online services. And last but not least, some examples from the countries coming mainly from the Balkans, but also eastern side of Europe that are more close to the Balkan reality in terms of economic development, but also transparency trends. Okay. When we talk about the political agenda, nowadays open government partnership makes quite an important element in open government today around the globe, and as I said, specifically Balkans as well, as we are discussing today with colleagues from the Balkans. For those of you that maybe are not that familiar, Open Government Partnership is a commitment taken by 69 governments from 69 countries as we speak. And the open government, the core of open government has to do with principles of open and transparent government to foster a culture of open government that empowers and delivers for citizens. It is based in 4 main principles, I would say. It has to do with increase the availability of information about governmental activities, and some of this we'll be covering today as well. Second has to do with support to civic participation, as I mentioned before, with regard to policy design, ways for the public to scrutinize the work of the government, but also design of the services. Third, implement higher standards of professional integrity throughout administration. And how that is done? Mainly by applying new technologies for open and accountability. When it comes to economic development, what today, the main phrase today is putting citizen first. Putting citizen first mainly because it is proved that good governance is an essential factor for economic development and social stability. Open and constructive policy dialogue with public and interest groups stays at the core of good governance. Today we live in an interconnected world, and as such, it makes it important for even the operations of government at all levels to provide that interconnectivity among institutions within the government, but also between the institutions and the private and private sector and citizens. Third, it is very interesting to see how avant-garde the business sector is around the globe today. It's a very developing sector that is applying some very innovative tools when it comes to service delivery. And that has put the bar very high for the government on the other side in all the services that they provide for the public. So public nowadays, because of this, let's say, development trend in the business sector, has raised the expectations when it comes to services being provided by the government, by all levels of the government and public institutions. So, saying differently, the demand side is increasing from the public for the government to provide better quality services, but also services that are easy and more accessible. Also, what we face today is that there is a very high demand when it comes to transparency and accountability in the government services. So it's not only what the government provides, but saying differently, it's also how the services are designed and they are provided by the government. The second issue that I wanted to touch upon has to do with diversity of online services. First, what does it mean? What does it mean, online services? First, has to do with access to information through online mode. So this is information that is designed in such a way through online platforms by the government to be accessible by the public. And this is through websites, mobile platforms, but also call centers. So in a way, this is one way information provided by the government to the citizen. Second has to do with online submission of applications. So requests coming from the public towards public administration for different services that they need to access. Third has to do with online processing of this application that are automated and they require very limited manual intervention, which also reduce drastically the physical face-to-face interaction between the applicant, public, and the public institutions. Fourth has to do with online tracking of the status of the application. So not just submission of the application, processing of the application, but also the possibility for the public, for the interested parties, to track the status of their application. And also with the direct delivery of services to the citizens, to the business, regardless of where this service or the client receives the service. What does online services do? First, it reduces the time and administrative burden on the citizen side and business in receiving these services. Second, it improves public service access and delivery by using innovative solutions, by introducing mobile applications, online access to website, SMS. This makes it possible for the public administration to deliver services, information, regardless of the location of the citizens, regardless of the technology they are using or they can use. So, which result in, as I said, improved access and quality of the services. Third, which is very important, it reduces corruption. It reduces corruption by increasing transparency, efficiency, and accountability in delivering the services. Fourth, enhances citizens' access to information and services by engaging them in a more productive relationship with the institutions. And as a result, sure, we see increased satisfaction from the client side, this being citizens or business, but also it allows government to have a more holistic insight in what is needed, what is the citizens' perception on these services, and how the quality of the services can be improved. In a way, transform the way how logistics are managed, this at the policy level, but also at the service delivery level. How it is done, and here are some of the ways e-services are provided. This is not an exhaustive list, but some of these tools, let's say, are also featured in the cases that will be presented below. First, I've chosen mobile governance. Mobile governance, which is based mainly on using mobile and wireless technology, known as m-governance. And this kind of technology is increasingly becoming one of the most important tools the governments are using at the global level to reach out broad public and entities. What does it bring? Why it is so much used recently? First, it increases efficiency in delivery. It makes it service delivery very convenient. Convenient because, as I said before, it doesn't matter where the recipient of the services are located. It allows government to reach out audiences in a very widespread geographical locations. As a result, it really improves the image of the government by being so present and in terms of geography, but also time. Reduces administrative burdens, reduces number of staff the public administration needs to deploy. It makes it enables government to do real-time monitoring of the services and reduces the costs of the services. Another way is SMS. SMS gateway, which is is the commonly used channel of mobile public service delivery, and it has two functions. It provides pull and push SMS services. So in one way, you have government that can send out notifications, announcements to the public, but also allows, enables government to receive information requests through the services by the public. This is very much used, in fact, for especially around emergency situations, which allow government to reach out big percentage of population in real time almost, and also quick short-term processes that require timely feedback from the public. And one of the benefits of SNS technology nowadays, where the number of mobile users has increased, is that this does not require internet access or computer literacy, which increases the chances for the government to be more present with their information, but also citizens to approach government. Another way is location-based services, which is a bit more sophisticated and in fact requires more investment in terms of technology through GPS or otherwise known as global positioning system, to track the location of citizens when the government or government bodies provide services. Sure, this is a tool that is very useful, especially for those segments of departments in the government that need location-based services for the type of services that they provide. The other one has to do with mobile applications. Again, a tool that is taking the lead in this area. A mobile application is a software that is designed to run on smartphones, tablets, and other mobile devices. And more broadly, today we see governments that use these apps for services that they provide, but also apps are very important tool, especially when it comes to also reporting, scrutinizing performance of public institutions from the citizens or business side. The other one are one-stop shops. One-stop shops that represent the front end of service delivery centers. And they enable smooth and transparent access to public services. One-stop shops are very well known and widespread, even in the Balkans at the municipal level nowadays. And one element that that is necessary when considering one-stop shop, I would say, is the need to restructure functions of the government in terms of front office and the back office in terms of service delivery. The last one has to do with public service mall, and again, as part of this presentation, I'll bring one example from Georgia. Public service malls are spaces that government use to provide a diverse set of services under one roof. And in cases of countries, from the example we know from Azerbaijan and India, especially, that are big countries in terms of geographical coverage, they have also designed this public service mall also at the regional base to reach out a broader public as a way to shorten distance and time in service provision. What are some of the recent trends and development stages when we look at the online services today. From the last studies of 2012-2014, we see that when it comes to e-services, what is getting high attention from the government side is what the services that are called whole of government approach, which are integrated online service delivery, and we'll see that below as well. The second has to do with use of e-government to provide information and services, especially on environmental related issues, which is also environmental protection. It is one of the hottest themes of the planet, for the planet nowadays, and it seems that the government is giving a priority when it comes to e-services to this sector. Third has to do with e-infrastructure for marginalized groups. So online services for disadvantaged and vulnerable groups, including here elderly, women, children, disabled, as a way to shorten distances, or let's say to overcome physical barriers for some of these groups, and also the financial barrier. E-services make for most of these groups access to services possible. And we see that it is good to see that the governments are paying more attention to this kind of services. Fourth has to do with multi-channel service delivery when it comes to open government data, as they are called, but also e-procurement, which we know are quite in parentheses, sensitive data that the governments generally keep very tight to themselves. The expansion of e-participation and mobile government. As we mentioned, when it comes to e-services, we don't talk only about access to services, but also to the design of the services, to the participation when it comes to policies and laws that frame the services. And it is good to see that there is an expansion when it comes to e-participation tools used by the government to involve public. For your information, for those that maybe are not familiar, in fact, United Nations has a specific instrument that measures e-government development in the e-government every 2 years. And this is done, in fact, by measuring 3 indicators, where one of them is online service index. The second one has to do with telecommunication infrastructure index and human capital index. And the average of these 3 indicators gives the overall score for the government development index. But as you see, one of the 3 indicators has to do with online services. And in this slide, you have also the link to the last survey report of the United Nations when it comes to e-government, also covering the online services, where you can also see where your specific countries, how they rank, and how they rank in each of these indicators. You will have also a chance as part of this publication to navigate some of the examples from different countries around the world when it comes to online services, which are in addition to some of the examples that we'll be sharing today. And this is presentation taken out of that report that provides these 4 stages, 4, I'd say, famous popular stages, how e-government is seen today when it comes to its development. And second, as you see here, which is the very basic level of e-government, has to do with emerging information services. Emerging information services based mainly on websites and public kiosks, and these are platforms that government uses to provide information on public policy, governance, laws and regulations. It also provides links to different ministries, public institutions, as a way to enable citizens to get acquainted with the updated information at the national and local government level. Second, which is the enhanced presence, and here we see greater resources of information and e-tools and services that are available for the public. And in this stage, the governments use more web portals, SMS, that we discussed above, mobile portals, and public kiosks. And as part of these platforms, governments deliver mainly one-way information and services, but also it starts to provide simple two-way communication between itself and the citizens. And also at this stage, at the enhanced presence, we see also government introducing downloadable forms for some of the services they provide, and also applications. And most of this, in this stage, most of these tools sites are provided in bilingual or multilingual features. The third, which is the here, transnational presence, we see introduction of two-way interaction between government and the citizens, with also online services that on top of that provide, enable financial and non-financial transactions. And we have the fourth stage, which are the integrated, connected presence, where all the tools we see, channels of communication are integrated. And basically we have the majority of the services being available online through e-solutions. And this is not only government public, but also government institutions among themselves are interconnected through e-solutions among themselves. And in this stage, we see government moving from government-centric, let's say, approach into citizen-centric approach. Here are some of the cases I have chosen for the today's presentation. And the first one has to do with Albania. This is the link here, is the link to e-Albania portal. It is the portal, it is one national portal that is designed, in fact, as a single window that unify whatever is available at the government level in terms of e-services. And in fact, it acts as an online platform. There is a long list of institutions here, from the General Tax Administration to the ministry lines to the licensing body that provides e-services for the citizens, business, but also public administration. As part of this portal, all the interested parties can download documents, but also application forms. There are also links and information, updated information to the different central, local government and public administration institutions. And in fact, this is a portal that is a work in development, because the main goal, the goal of the government is to make that, as I said, a single window for all the e-services that use web platform for the entire country. The second one has to do with Croatia. Croatia, that in fact was the winner of the Open Government Partnership in 2015. And here at the very end of this slide, you can also see the video in YouTube of the presentation of e-citizen system in Croatia, which is in English as well. The aim of this system is to simplify and speed up the communication between citizens and public administration at the national level by increasing transparency in the operations of public sector when it comes to service delivery. And as you see also from the YouTube presentation, it has three main components. The first component has to do with systems that provide secure and advanced electronic communication with the public, mainly from the different government bodies. The second has to do with national identification and authentication system. And third is the personal mailbox that can be used as an application for smartphones, but that is also web-based, and it provides access to public administration services, which is very nice, because as part of this, the users get personal, can enter into personal communication with service providers, and they receive personal messages from the provider. Here is Montenegro, which is called Be Responsible App. And Montenegro, in fact, is one of the countries that is also one of the winners of OGP in 2014. And this is a mobile application that is designed mainly to report issues by citizens, mainly citizens. It is available also online, so it's not only a mobile application but also web-based. It also provides a helpline that is managed by the tax administration and administration of all inspection affairs. And what it does, in fact, it encourages citizens to identify and report irregularities when it comes to gray economy. And I'll show you. As you'll see from the website, it has different categories of reporting. It has to do with irregularities when it comes to cash register receipts, so issues with the receipts that people get as clients get as customers, like market operations, customer rights violation, but also being a country that lives mainly on tourism, irregularities when it comes to beaches, mainly rubbish dumping. And it has to do, one category has to do with vehicles, traffic irregularity issues, parking issues, and ecological. It is very nice because the website also reports live a number of fines collected as part of this reporting coming from the citizens, as you can see here. And also reports on the number of issues addressed that are in the procedure or they are waiting to be addressed. And what the government has introduced, also I'll say as a second incentive for the citizens to report, is that all the fines that are collected due to this reporting go in support of social causes, like several hospitals, clinics, mainly targeting vulnerable groups, have been renovated, upgraded as part of this fund collected in this way. And here we have the Armenia case, which is called Smart Municipalities, and that as part of the slide you also see a YouTube presentation that you can navigate that gives a more thorough introduction of this platform. But the aim of it is to boost the operational effectiveness of local government in Armenia and improve the service delivery from their side. At the moment it's launched in 550 communities in all 10 provinces in Armenia, with covering 92% of the population. So it has enabled quite a large use of municipalities at the national level. And it also allows public to post problems beside applying for services and tracking their online applications. This is Turkey. It is a bit more specific. In fact, this is a portal that has been in use for almost 10 years or so, and it targets this is the portal, and here you have the website. It is designed as, in fact, a web portal that enables interaction mainly among the local government units and those segments of the administration that support local government in Turkey. So this is a central portal where local governments in Turkey at municipal or village level or district level, as you see, access training materials, access legislation, get updates. There are discussion forums, but one of the features is also communication between municipalities and citizens. The other one has to do with Spain, and that is called Decide Madrid. This is e-participation web software that consists in three parts: participation, transparency, and open data regarding municipality of Madrid. It provides information that enables citizens to directly get involved in the policy making, decision making at Madrid municipality. It provides ways for citizens to put suggestions, complaints, but also petitions. Also, the platforms provide tools for evaluation of policies and services provided by the municipality of Madrid. And one of the that you can also see by navigating the website, features of it that is very much used are public debates. And the website gives the opportunity to citizens to participate without needing to be physically present in one meetings with municipal officials, despite time, despite location, which increases by making such processes more convenient and affordable for the citizens. It increases their participation in this debate and also encourages citizens to put proposals to the municipality of Madrid, which are crucial elements, especially when it comes to participatory budgeting. Okay, this is a very unique, I would say, website. Local.com. This is, I thought to bring this to your attention, maybe as practitioners, but also as researchers. And this is a platform quite sophisticated. It is, it provides data for 9 Spanish-speaking countries, mainly in Latin America, including Spain, in Europe as well. And this is a website that ensures transparency regarding data from local governments and public institutions in these 9 countries. It aims to increase government's transparency, but also stimulate citizen engagement by empowering citizens and leaders to understand the economic information. As you see in this platform, it allows calculation of taxes and expenses at the personal level. It allows comparison of municipal budgets among municipalities at the country level. It provides tools to see budget versus expenditures. And also it is designed as a website for people that are not necessarily very familiar with financial vocabulary, or they not necessarily know how to understand financial data. And this website provides this kind of information and explanation. On top of that, it has also an online hotline that is available 5 days a week for whoever is interested to further get into the data analysis or access to information, especially, as I said, when it comes to municipal budgets. And the platform is a great source for economic information, reports and studies. but also information presented in a very friendly and easy to capture way through graphics and maps. The website also provides the possibility to access data from 2000, data and reports from 2008, giving an overview of government's outcomes, taxation systems, public debts, incomes, and so on. The other one has to do with Georgia. Georgia, as I anticipated in the presentation, is in fact one of the countries that is making giant progress when it comes to e-government, also by introducing the public service hall, which is one-stop building where most of the public services are available. There are about 200 services provided in this one unified space, and there are three. The services that they provide are divided in three main categories. These are services that are self-managed, so a self-service area that are mainly services that have to do with access to printing of statements of assets or business, biometric photo for passports, cash withdrawals through ATMs, but also remote payments. And there is a second section where they provide prompt services, called prompt service area, where they provide services that require less than 5 minutes of delivery, like delivery of ready passports, identity cards, legalization of documents, registration of decisions, and statements. And then is the third one, which is the so-called prolonged service area, where they provide services that require more than 5 minutes of, on average. And these are application for passports, submission of documents for registration of properties or businesses, and obtaining archive and biographical statements. Here you will see in the YouTube also presentation a video of the mall, which is beautiful. It's quite big, and also the website of it. And with that, I thought to bring you some facts about Georgia, which, how can I say, in fact, has paid off this effort in terms of e-government. As you see, Georgia has been considered the #1 reformer for the last 8 years by the World Bank 2014 doing business. It was also given the first place in property registration, 8th place in ease of starting business, and 8th place in ease of doing business. And then EBRD has classified them the first place in official documents, insurance, and second place in effective service delivery. The last one has to do with Estonia, and it's the last one because I think is one of the most striking examples of a country that is quite small. It's only 1.3 million, and in fact it doesn't rank high in terms of wealth among the 27 EU member states. In fact, it is the third poorest in the 28 member states. But still, it is considered one of the world leaders when it comes to e-service. Why is that? That, in fact, is mainly because of the political will, political commitment from the political class right after the country got its independence. The political class being very aware about few resources that the country possessed, they declared IT development as the sector for the future economic development of the country, as the sector where the country could prosper. And in fact, it had to justify, because as I said, Estonia is nowadays among the leading countries when it comes to e-government. And in 2015, Estonia introduced, again, one of the astonishing examples in the world by acknowledging e-residence, where as part of this innovation that doesn't recognize borders, so people can be residents in another country, Estonia provides a gateway to these people outside Estonia to invest in Estonia by establishing businesses, using the e-commerce as a bridge. Estonia, for some years now, has introduced e-signature, or otherwise known as digital signature, and in fact, in the estimation of the Estonian government, now digital signature has taken over paper signature, and just because of that, the country is saving 2% of the GDP, or the calculations, $500 million a year, just because of introducing that. Okay, we are coming to an end, and the question is, okay, why we are so much discussing the importance of e-services? Sure, because beside the political aspect of it, as part of which the government are elected by the citizens, and they have to be accountable to its citizens. They are there to serve the citizens, and as such, they should enable all means possible for the citizens to participate in the design of the services, as I said, in the design of policies that frame these services. There's also a pragmatic side of these services, which is the cost benefit. There is more and more studies around cost benefits of e-services in today's world. And in fact, one of the studies shows that in countries where private firms are provided with free or very cheap, at marginal cost, geographical information, their growth has increased in average 15%. And this is compared to the countries where government provides this kind of data towards a fee that in fact is more based on the cost and profit logic. So the bottom line is that more accessible basic geographical information is for private businesses, higher the chance for their growth is. Second, an open data platform has shown to at least tenfold return on investment. And there are several countries that proves that. And when it comes to access to data, to open government data, sure, the governments are faced with the challenge of putting enough resources, but on the other side, also stimulating innovation, finding the appropriate tools how to do that. And the Spain case shows that instead of government doing that, they have chosen private providers to fill in the gap. And in Spain, the government works with 150 companies that focus on selling services on top of what the government provides as open data. And this is also a way for the government to consider in terms of private-public partnerships, looking into exploring ways how to build partnerships with academic institutions, private sectors, and NGOs. And the main reason to this cost benefits has to do with saving costs and internal efficiency. So by introducing e-services, the processes of service provisions are become more efficient within the institution. They require less administrative staff in their provision, which drastically reduce costs. This is the presentation on my side for today. Here is my email, and here is the website of Partners Albania, where you can see also some of the work that we do in, with regard to local government and public participation. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you good luck. Thank you.